All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our session tonight titled Explore Premier Downstate and Central Illinois Public Colleges. We have a wonderful panel for you tonight, and we're happy to have you here. Just a little bit of housekeeping. My name's Erin. I'm your facilitator tonight. If you have questions, we welcome questions for the panel, and you can ask those questions through the Q&A button on your screen. Your camera and your mic are off. But again, that Q&A button will allow you to interact with the panelists. We do also want to encourage you to take advantage of the other sessions being offered during this multi-week event, and you can see those sessions and recordings of each session at IACAC.org. Without further ado, I'll turn it over to our wonderful panelists. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And yeah, you're right. We've got 3 premier locations in Downstate in Central Illinois here for you today. Eastern Illinois, Southern Illinois, Carbondale, and the University of Illinois at Springfield. And there's some things that I want to talk in general about all 3 schools, and then we're going to spend some time. Each school is going to get about 5 minutes to talk a little bit more about them specifically. And then we'll finish it up. We've got some questions that came in ahead of time. If questions come in on the Q&A, we'll also spend some time going through that. And so that kind of gives you an idea of what this is going to look like. But I'm really excited because when I think about quality education, when I think about opportunities right now in the state of Illinois, in my 17 years doing college admissions, when it comes to Downstate, these are the 3 schools that come to my mind. I've worked at Illinois Springfield for a long time. When Omar talks, he'll talk about how long he's been at Eastern. And Sierra's had quite a career also at Southern Illinois Carbondale. And that speaks to when you see employees staying at the same school for as long as we have, the quality of education, the quality of the environment, and the financial opportunities for students. We all believe in access for education. And so not only are our campuses delivering high quality, elite level education in the classroom, but we're doing it for a value that most other schools in the state, especially when you talk about living on campus, they can't compare with. When you add that with some of the internship opportunities, the location of where we're at and the access that we have to major metropolitan areas, whether it's St. Louis, Indianapolis, Chicago, as well as some of the Central Illinois hubs when it comes to bigger cities. There are so many opportunities for students. And before we get talking, I also want to mention that all 3 of our campuses are some of the more diverse campuses in terms of backgrounds, in terms of financial, in terms of religious, that you're going to see anywhere in the state of Illinois. And so I'm really excited. On the map that you're seeing in front of you, you can kind of see where we're located at in the state. And the nice thing is 2 main highways from Chicago get you to everywhere you want to be, and that's 55 and 57. And if you're from downstate, you know how to get to Carbondale. Illinois, Springfield, and Eastern are right off the highways for you as well. So they're easily accessed, and it allows you also the opportunities to be in cities and to be in environments where there's going to be internship opportunities. We're the largest schools in our area, but we're all small to medium-sized universities, which means that our students have amazing opportunities. And with that, Omar, let's get this thing started. And lucky for you guys, you get to hear a little bit more from me, starting with Illinois Springfield. And Illinois Springfield's a really special place. Illinois Springfield is a university that does 4 things that I think at an elite level. And one of those is diversity. So what does that mean? What does diversity really mean? Well, at Illinois Springfield, what it means is that about 50% of our freshman population comes from a diverse background. We are right now the only public school in Illinois to be more diverse than our peer institutions in the country and to graduate our diversity at a higher rate than our peer institutions in the country. And we do that with some amazing programming, whether it's for first-generation college students coming in and our Necessary Steps program that puts you in a University 101 class designed for first-generation student success, to programs like STARS, programs like our pre-nursing pathways and Leadership for Life. We put you in opportunities to be successful from day one. But another reason that our diversity is so successful and our students in general are successful is our acceptance on campus of our student body. We actually ranked 3rd in the nation last year for the acceptance of LGBTQ students on our campus. And that talks to how our students can feel comfortable being themselves while being a student at UIS. You are able to join the clubs, the organizations, the activities, and the things that you're most passionate about. And you don't have to worry about what others on campus are going to think of you. They're going to encourage you to do that. And that's not just staff, that's not just professors, but that's also your students. And that leads to our quality academics. When students feel comfortable with who they are on campus, it allows them to get more involved in academic pursuits, both in and outside of class. And this year we ranked as the #1 regional public university in Illinois by US News and World Reports. And that takes into consideration a lot of different factors on campus. But in terms of academic excellence, that's something that we strive for every day at Illinois Springfield. And then finally, we're doing that for one of the best values in the country. When I talked about the values our 3 institutions give to our students, it wasn't just words. We ranked 5th in the Midwest, and that's a 12-state region with hundreds, almost 1,000 different schools. We ranked 5th in the Midwest for our students graduating with the least amount of loan debt. So we're providing that opportunity on campus for academic excellence, but we're doing it for an amazing cost. So what are we known for? What are the programs that Illinois Springfield really is strong in? Well, we've got a few of them. Our top major on campus is computer science. We've had Fortune 500 companies list us within the top 20 schools in the nation to recruit a computer science and tech kid from. We had our STEM program, and we don't even have engineering on our campus, ranked by a leading website as the 23rd best STEM program in the country. And so that talks about how strong we are in technology, and especially cybersecurity and our information system security program. We also house one of the top nursing programs in the nation. We're one of the 5 locations of UIC nursing. And so our students, and the advantages that they have is that we have no wait list for nursing. We offer more scholarships for nursing, and we had a 100% pass rate in the NCLEX exam this past year at UIS. We're very strong in those governmental majors. We're sitting in Springfield, Illinois. And so for our students that want to get active in anything politically, those opportunities for our students aren't just in the classroom, just aren't on campus with student government, but they're actually in government. We just had one of our students elected by her peers in the state of Illinois as the 1 student representative for the Illinois Board of Higher Education Committee. She's the one that will be giving advice to these politicians for the next years on how the state will run when it comes to colleges. And that's just one example of how much influence our students have, not just the book learning, but actual real life experience. Very strong business program. We're AACSB accredited. What that means is the top accreditation in the country came into our business classes, talked with our graduates, talked with our professors, and talked with major employers, and certified not only what we were doing was helping our students learn what they needed to learn, but employers said that they are getting the skills necessary for employment and advancement. That's where we separate. We're strong in social work and psychology, and that's specialized in the areas of child advocacy. We have one of the top 4 child advocacy programs in the world. What that means for students that want to work for DCFS and social work, nursing, education, or anything dealing with kids, we put you in real life experiences with a simulation lab. And as a Gunderson National Training Center in 2018, the head of that organization mentioned that anything kids in the world runs through Illinois Springfield. With biology, chemistry, very strong in the sciences, whether you want to go into med school or work in the field, we cap those labs at 16 students. So you're going to be hands-on. Criminology, put it this way, the FBI was on our campus on the 4th day of class for about the 5th year in a row, recruiting as early as freshman year students to start working in the FBI office in town. If you want to go into criminology, we have a state crime lab in town. We also have the training center for the state police and about 6 other major law enforcement agencies a couple miles away from campus. And then finally, for students that want to go into education, we've got an amazing program. I saw it firsthand when my sister-in-law went to UIS. She's now teaching in Lake County, which is the county just north of the city of Chicago, as a 1st grade teacher. And that county is actually the toughest place in the state right now to find a teaching job. So I know how that degree goes in. So if you're looking for a campus that is going to offer you that diverse experience, amazing education, and a really great value to everything, that's Illinois Springfield. Go Prairie Stars, and I want to introduce Omar with Eastern Illinois.
Thank you so much, Aaron, and hello to everyone out there and everyone that will be watching this video. later in the day or even in the evening. My name is Omar Akil Solomon. I'm a regional admissions counselor at Eastern Illinois University. I'm also a proud alum of EIU. I graduated back when I had hair many, many moons ago in 2009 with a degree in communication studies. The hair has matriculated down to my beard, as you guys can see. And I'm so excited to talk to you guys about Eastern. A little bit about myself. I've been at EIU for just about a decade now. I started in 2011. I came from another university in 2010. I loved that experience, but having the opportunity to come back to EIU was just the best of both worlds. Being able to work at a school that you love and being a profession that you really love to love as well. Now, a little bit about myself. I'm from the Chicagoland area, from the south suburbs. And when I was thinking about when I was going to college many, many moons ago, I'm like, why am I going all the way down here when I could just stay in the Chicagoland area, or I could just go out of state? Like, what am I thinking? So it all happened one day. I'm visiting colleges. My older sister went to a larger university, but on the way back, there was a little stop, and that stop was Charleston. I'm like, let's go check it out. It ended up being an open house event, and I just felt at home, and it was like truly a home away from home, and people were holding the door for me. And being from up north, I'm not used to everybody being so nice. It definitely took me back for a second, and I was like, wow. So I visited again, and then, the statistics say the more that you visit a university, the more you really fall in love. And that's what it was throughout my experience at EIU, and definitely could be your experience either at Carbondale, UIS, or anywhere that you attend. I always recommend visiting as many campuses. But a little bit about Eastern. Okay, we are truly all in for you, located in Charleston. So that's 2 hours from the Chicagoland area, St. Louis and Indianapolis region. So we're not too far, similar to Springfield, just under 10,000 students, guys. So your average classroom size is roughly 17 to 18 students. What does that mean? You're getting personal attention here at EIU, everything that a large university has, but in a medium-sized package. Okay, so you're going to get that investment into clubs, the investment into research opportunities, but it's also going to be at an affordable cost, which we'll talk about in just a second. All right. One of the key things about that here at EIU, we've had positive enrollment growth, 3 consecutive years of enrollment growth while maintaining high retention and graduation rates. That's what it's all about, being sized for success and all in for you. I compare it to my favorite movie of all time, High School Musical. I hope you guys have seen it out there. Here at EIU, we are all in this together. Okay, we bop to the top because we're breaking free, because you are the music in me. Now, I don't dance, but if you get your head in the game and bet on it, you can have it all here at EIU, because we don't stick to the status quo. Why? Because there's 90 different majors to choose from. Originally founded as an education school, we're the second largest producers of teachers in the state of Illinois. So if you want to go into early childhood education, secondary, elementary, special education, you have all those opportunities, and there's no waiting list. So once you meet the criteria, you can start taking those education courses right away here at EIU. We also offer a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. For so many years, we've had a pre-nursing program here at EIU, but thanks to a generous donation from the Lumpkin family, this year, we are now offering a BSN in nursing, and which is pretty amazing. We have a simulation lab on campus. You're going to get hands-on experience, and that's what it's all about. Especially at a school like Eastern, and also all of our schools in this downstate area, you're going to get a hands-on experience and actually have a relationship as soon as you step foot on campus. I think that is so vital when you guys are thinking about colleges. Of course, another major thing about is sports management. I know you guys are watching the NBA Finals this week, and also going into next week. There's some EIU alums in the building. JaVale McGee, who is on the Lakers, his social media content creator, is an EIU alum. I was his RA in college, Devin Dismay. Devin's college roommate, Joe Sherman, is the social media coordinator for the Lakers. I'm going for the Heat, just kidding. But it's so great to see our students start near and go far. So majors like communication studies, communication disorder sciences, the pre-med fields. The best part about all those programs is 91% of our students within 5 to 6 months are getting jobs or getting placed in grad school. All right. Now you may be asking yourself, Omar, you told me all these great things, but how am I going to afford this? EIU, very affordable. We're just around that $22,000 range. That's your tuition, which is locked in for 4 consecutive years. That's also your textbooks here at EIU. We rent our textbooks, guys. Think about that. All your textbooks are $9.95 a credit hour, so just under $300. So you save so much money with textbook rental. We're a residential campus. We're the first residential campus actually in the state of Illinois, so there's an amazing residential experience. And also there's a lot of scholarship opportunities. You see on the screen, scholarships are more GPA based. So the higher the GPA, the higher the scholarship opportunity. And we're going to talk about some more opportunities to help save money later on in the presentation. But I just want to leave you guys with just the things that you can do on campus. So being in Charleston, Illinois, you might be thinking like, okay, Omar, you got the majors check. Very affordable check, but what am I going to do? So we have access, we have affordability, but we also have an atmosphere, okay? So there's Division I sports in a normal year, of course, in a normal year. Division I sports, football, basketball, track and field, you name it. You saw us represented in the Super Bowl last year with Jenny Garoppolo of the 49ers. Opportunities in intramural sports, Greek life, fraternities and sororities, over 200 clubs and organizations. So everything a large university has, but in a medium-sized package. And I'll leave you guys with this before I turn it over to Sarah. If you ask our alums about the return on investment here at EIU, after 5 years past their graduation date, 99% of the alums have said they will do it all over again. That truly means we are sized for success. I need to find out who that 1% was so I can have a conversation with them. But everything here at EIU is all in for you. And I'm now going to turn it over to Sarah, who's going to talk to you guys about Southern Illinois and Carbondale.
Thank you so much, Omar. And as a EIU alum, I will say that you're definitely going to get a wonderful experience at Eastern and also a wonderful experience at UIS. And so I just want to share a little bit more about SIU Carbondale. So for those of you that are in the Chicagoland area, we are about 5.5 hours south. For those of you that are joining from the Southern Illinois area, welcome home. I also am a native of Carbondale, Illinois, and an SIU alum. I got my graduate degree from the university. And so I just hope to share with you, I just hope to share with you reasons why I feel like this institution is a great fit for those of you that may not be thinking of traveling down south, and just to really share some of the benefits of our Research One University. So SIU Carbondale enrolls just under 12,000 students. We have over 300 areas of study, so there's definitely something for everyone. Some of our more popular areas would be psychology, which is a very popular area across every institution just currently. We have an aviation program, we have mortuary science, our ag department is great. We also have our own nursing program. We've got engineering. Again, there's something for everyone on our campus. We also have over 300 clubs and organizations. So there's something about getting involved on campus that really adds to the experience that you're going to have. I mentioned that we're at Research One University. So what this means is that as a student, not only are you kind of gathering information from your faculty members, but you're also going to be a part of the knowledge production. So we encourage all of our undergraduate students to take part in some sort of creative activity or undergraduate research experiences. And these experiences can get you paid. So how is it that you can hang out with a faculty member, kind of piggyback off of what their lifelong work is, and then just kind of take it all in and help them out and get paid to do that? So that's something that we really pride ourselves on, and we're really excited about that. So not only are we a larger scale university, but we also have a small kind of scale fit in terms of our class and our student to faculty ratio. So we're 14:1. So that means that we do have some larger lecture halls, but there are some smaller classroom sizes that you'll find on our campus to really kind of build those relationships with our faculty members. One quick thing I wanted to share is that I have a QR code. So if you do want to learn more about the university, please scan that and it will link you directly to me, and I'll be able to follow up with you individually. And another thing, we are hosting on-campus visits. So if you do want to venture out and just kind of get out of the house, you can take a trip down 55 or 57 and stop at all 3 of our institutions just to kind of still get yourselves out of the house. And even you could do it appropriately in terms of social distancing if you just wanted to walk around campus. So SIU Carbondale, we have about 2,000 acres on our campus, so we do have a large land mass, but it is still student friendly in terms of how you use transportation. So we have a Saluki Express, we have bike routes, there are bikes you can rent while you're on campus. So it's definitely a beautiful kind of scene in terms of, you know, living and learning on campus. One thing I do want to add is that 90% of our students do receive some sort of financial aid from the university. So we invest in our students, and hopefully you can find out more by applying. Omar, if you could go to the next slide. Thank you. So a little bit about Carbondale. Like I mentioned, I grew up in Carbondale, and it is a wonderful place to live and learn. So in terms of our athletics, we are the Salukis, which is a very fast running Egyptian dog. A little bit of history. So Carbondale is known, well, Southern Illinois was known as Little Egypt back in like the 20s or the 30s, somewhere, you know, prehistoric. Just joking. But there was a drought. And so the folks that were coming to the area just kind of called it Little Egypt because they considered it like a desert. So the university was being founded at that same time, and they took the Little Egypt. And so that's how we got the Saluki as being our campus mascot. So we are Division I in terms of our athletics. We have 15 Division I sports teams. One of our greatest traditions, or the easiest kind of club to join on our campus, is the Dog Pound. So you pay $20, you get a free t-shirt, and included in every student's tuition, like all of our schools, you have a free ticket to all of our sports games. One of the only rule to join the Dog Pound is that you come at the start of the game and you stay until the end of the game. We want just to kind of create that atmosphere that supports our teams. And then, you know, you get to know your classmates, your faculty members, our community members. We are all Saluki fans in Southern Illinois. Some of the things to highlight in terms of our tuition: we do have a truth in tuition. So our tuition is locked in. We're around the $25,000 range. Some new things that we are offering now this fall is we have all single space rooms. So no student has to share a room with another student. You will share a suite with another student. So that is something that's exciting. As a person who worked in residence life for many years prior to coming on the admission side, less roommate headache. But it's also great that you still have that inner, you have a tie to somebody else that's sharing your suite. And so it's not like you're just one person in a room with no other connection. So that's really cool. Another thing that we're offering is an anytime meal plan. So if you are determined to gain that freshman 15, make it 30. Just joking. But as long as the residence halls are open, students are able to come in and out as many times as you know, until you're satisfied. And so that's one thing that we really pride ourselves on, is just being accessible to students, knowing that, you know, sometimes the dining hall hours aren't flexible in terms of what your study and your work hours are. Lastly, we do have tons of academic scholarships. We have an entire academic scholarship office that basically, for whatever major you might have, there's going to be an academic scholarship that's related to your major. So that is something to kind of keep in mind. Once you're an admitted student, you have a plethora of other additional scholarship opportunities to apply for. So just to kind of go over our application process, right now our applications are free until October 31st. And then we'll need an official copy of your high school transcripts. We are no longer requiring any SAT or ACT scores. And one of the greatest things I feel like that we're offering this fall is merit-based scholarships based on your unweighted GPA alone. So every student that is admitted to the university is going to receive an academic scholarship from us. Folks, this is huge. This is something that I wish I had when I was a student, kind of looking at colleges. So even though COVID has hit us and it has made us pivot and transform things, and you know, it's very terrible, but on the flip side, the adjustments that folks have had to make are really going to be very beneficial to a lot of different students. So I will leave that there with my presentation. Again, our contact information will be listed. And then now I'm going to turn it back over to Aaron for some questions that we've gotten ahead of time. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm glad that you finished it up talking about admission, because that was the first question that we had come in, and some of these questions were turned in ahead of time. And the first question is, what are we as college admissions counselors and at our 3 institutions, and just so everybody knows, the answers for these are going to be pretty standard for all of us, but what are we looking for in terms of an applicant? What's going to help them? And I'll turn it over to you guys first, and let's go through kind of what we're looking for as a group.
So I would say we are looking at a student holistically. So we obviously, you need to be on track to graduate high school. So we look for 4 years of English, 3 years of math, 3 years of science, and 2 years of electives that be foreign language, or just anything that you like to explore. But just a student that is open to diversity, open to learning, and open to just really enjoying the full process of coming to a university.
All right. And I apologize if you hear a child in the background. That is my nephew. But what are we, our applicant process here at Eastern? We are looking at a lot of things. So we are a test optional university, similar to Carbondale and also UIS. In terms of the application criteria, things that we're looking for, I wanted to focus on, students telling their story. So I want to talk about those optional documents that can really help sell you in terms of the application process. Number one, that would be letters of recommendation. Who knows you better than your core counselor or a professor or teacher that you're taking? Those letters of recommendation are amazing opportunities for our students that need that additional push. Additionally, another thing is your personal statement or an essay. Here at EIU, we love to see that. We're holistic as well. So what is your story? What makes you different? One thing I like to tell students, you guys are the average age of 17. So you're halfway to 34. So when you think about it like that, being halfway to 34, you want to plan like you're old, like me. I'm 34 and I still got swag. But you also want an opportunity you're still 17. You can enjoy that life. So tell your story. What is happening? You guys all have such a unique story because you guys are going through something that I couldn't imagine going through when I was 17 or 18. I'm not a virtual person, but you guys are knocking it out the park and I'm uberly proud of you guys. So those letters of recommendation, those personal statements to me really help showcase your story. And some schools have it optional, just like Eastern, but sometimes I do recommend them. And additionally, of course, our application is open right now. It's free until October 15th, so you can definitely take advantage of that. And I'll leave it to Aaron now.
Yeah, and Illinois Springfield's test optional, just like everybody else is saying. What does that really mean? It means you're getting scholarships at our institutions, you're getting admission to our institutions, and sometimes in our case, even admitted to honors, and you do not need to submit an SAT or ACT. That's what that means. Now, test optional means, and I know on Eastern's slide, they even showed it, you can submit your SAT or ACT if you want. If you end up taking it, you want it submitted, you want us to look at it, fine. But we're using a model just like I know Southern talked about, where we're using unweighted GPAs to come up with your scholarship. And your test score won't matter at all. But the one piece that I want to go on top of what's already said is interest. It's your job as a high school student to make sure that all 3 of us, when you apply to our school, we know who you are. You're responding to emails. You're showing up when we do virtual visits. You're responding to texts. You're responding when we call. Why is that so important? Because believe it or not, interest in a university is actually the number 2 predictor of whether or not you're going to graduate from the school you choose. How interested you are. And as a counselor, it's our job to figure out who those students are. And students that show more interest, we're able to connect with the right programs on campus. We're able to talk and talk to a little bit better about making sure that we're the right fit. And plus, and probably the most likely scenario is sometimes scholarship committees ask us for recommendations, or we're on scholarship committees. When we know the kids, that can help you get more scholarship money. And I'll tell you a story. Last week, I was on a webinar with a SEC school. So some of the biggest schools in the country, Southeastern Conference, all your big football programs. And we were talking about interest and why demonstrated interest is so important. She said that her boss came down one day and said, we just got some additional funding because of COVID. Who should we give these scholarship dollars to? And she rattled off 5 names, and all 5 of those kids got an extra couple $1,000s free. They didn't apply for it, They didn't do anything, but they were the kids that she had the most contact with during the year at one of the biggest schools in the country. So you've got to understand that as a counselor, we're going to get to know you, and it's your job to make sure that that happens. Sometimes we're on your admission committee and we can say, hey, we've had a lot of interaction with this kid. They're very interested. I highly recommend them based on our interests, these conversations, emails. I know that they're college ready. So that's probably the biggest tip I can give you, because guess what? You can fake it. You can fake it. We'll never know. You should be dating all three of our schools like we're your number one choice right now. All right? We'll never know. Yeah, and don't tell me that doesn't happen, because I know when you were at prom or you were at the homecoming dance one year, you were thinking about dancing with somebody on the opposite side of the room. All right? We know that this happens. All right? But I'm telling you, take advantage of this, because showing interest, and just so you guys know, every time you get an email from one of our three schools, we know if you opened it. We know how many times you opened it. We can see which web link you clicked on there. We can see what you did once you went to our website. And probably the biggest tip I can give you with interest, when we send you your decision email, our email says admit decision released. If you open that email one time, it means you are not interested in coming to my school. The kids that want to come to my school, they open that email 8 to 10 times because they showed mom and dad, they showed their counselor, they showed their friends, they showed grandma and grandpa. Like, we're looking at those types of things. And so just understand that that comes through. Another question that we got before this started was, what do you think are the advantages to staying in the state of Illinois? And Omar, I want to start with you this time in terms of some of the advantages of staying in state, because I know you touched on it earlier, and I want you to go in a little bit more depth.
No problem, definitely. One thing I love about when our students are staying in state, another big benefit, of course, is the affordability piece. It's so affordable for our state universities, especially on the public side, to make sure we help offset that cost. So once again, that's access, that's affordability, and providing an atmosphere. So the state of Illinois, for the public universities, they have a program called Aim High. What is Aim High? Aim High is an opportunity to help keep our students in state. Now, every university uses these funds very differently to help keep the students in state. So here at EIU, I'll talk a little bit about what we do. So you saw that we are test optional, both for our automatic merit scholarships and also for admissions. So if you're eligible for Aim High with a 3.3 GPA or higher, we can add an additional $500 to one of your level tiers of your scholarships. Additionally, we have the EIU Promise program. With EIU Promise, if your family income is under $67,000 or less, and a 3.3 GPA or higher, we can cover your tuition and fees. Now, there's other schools that have very similar programs as well with their Aim High funds, and that's one of the best things here in Illinois we can do. Just by staying in state, you can save so much money with Aim High, so many opportunities with that too. Another thing is, like, you're close to home. I think that's one of the biggest things I realized when I was going away to college, is that I was only 2 hours away from my parents. So if I needed to go wash clothes, I can just go do that to make that nice little drive, and I didn't have to worry about them knocking on my door every day because they were 2 hours away. So you have these opportunities, guys. So definitely affordability is so important. One of the main reasons why I chose to stay in state. And that's why hopefully a lot of our students will continue to do so in the future.
I just definitely want to kind of piggyback on staying in state, staying close to home. Even though this is a time where you feel kind of like an adult, but also kind of looking for guidance or needing guidance, don't second guess that, because your first year, I remember my first semester of college, there were two situations that happened to me really quickly. The first was I didn't understand how to read my college schedule. So I went to my Tuesday class on Monday, and I walked into a class, and it was not I didn't have a syllabus. I thought I was in an English class. It was like a speech 300 level class. And I remember just getting on the phone with my mom and said, I can't make it. I'm not going to make it here in college. But you just have those sorts of hiccups. And then later on that same week, I thought I lost my car keys. And during this time, I'll age myself. I had a one strap backpack, and my keys were actually in a backpack in a pocket I didn't normally use. But again, like I remember just feeling incredibly overwhelmed, and just feeling like I wasn't fit to be where I was. But in the back of my mind, I was close enough, even though I was like panicking, I stayed. But I was like, I gotta go home. But I feel like just having that closeness is what kept me there. And then also having friends that I knew from my high school that were also on campus. And so that was also kind of relationship that kind of kept me staying, that helped me while I chose to stay on campus or stay close in Illinois. One other kind of point is that when I took my first professional job and I left and moved to Florida, because obviously I'm from Southern Illinois, one of the things that I found that was a burden for me, or an unknown cost, was when there's a family emergency and you have to get home, do you have the amount of money for a plane ticket or to rent a car? Are you old enough to rent a car? Because these are things that you don't think about, life traumatic experiences, a grandparent passing away or anything else, just wanting to be there. I remember going to my sister's prom and being able to come home. But that's something that I never really thought about in terms of not only, was my major the right fit, was the cost right, but really having that connection to where just being close to family. Because when you get out into the real world, you're going to realize quickly that things are going to take from you, that everything is going to take, it's going to be giving. And you have to realize where your support is so that you can quickly be fed back into or poured back into. So that's just one of my points.
And I'm going to take it the other side of that. And I think it's really important if you are thinking that Illinois is maybe a place that you want to stay in once you graduate. When you stay in state for college, we are schools that have connections already built in the state. Our career services offices, our professors, our alumni bases are strongest in Illinois. And so as you start looking for jobs, as you start looking for internships, the opportunities that some of our campuses are going to give you are better than some of the things that you might get from an out-of-state institution. I'll give you one example. At Illinois Springfield, we have a program called Graduate Public Service Intern, where our graduates get grad school paid for, free, all right? They get $1,200 a month paid to them. They work 20 hours a week in a governmental office, and they even get professional development funding. And we hire between 80 to 100 a year that work in Springfield. And this is the Illinois retirement system to EPA, to all these different areas. It's not you have to be a Democrat or Republican. Well, guess what? Illinois Springfield also has the Chicago network. Because we're one of the leaders in online education, we own the GPSI, or the Graduate Public Service Internship opportunities in Chicago. It's not a Chicago school, it's Illinois Springfield. And so our students can get a job in an area that they want to work in while they get their master's. So they're building a resume and getting the master's, not just getting a master's and then people saying that you're overqualified. Programs like that all of our schools offer, are advantages, especially if your plan is to end up in Illinois for years after you graduate. I know Omar talked about education, and we all have great teacher education programs. Illinois is one of the toughest states in the country to get a teaching license in. And so if you go to another state and want to come back and teach in Illinois, it doesn't always work. Sometimes you have to take additional courses, take additional tests. Our students, even if they move out of state, our degree is accepted almost everywhere in the country, and our certification is because of how they challenge our students in college. So there are so many advantages to staying in state when you're looking at internships and future employment opportunities, especially if staying in Illinois is something you might be thinking about after you graduate. I know we've probably got time for one quick question, and I figured we'll start with you, Omar. One of them came in and I thought it was really great. What's a point of pride for you for the school that you're at? What really excites you about the school that you're at? Now, and Omar, I'll let you start.
No problem. One thing to me that really excites me about the EIU connection and that pride, to me, is just definitely the connect. Number one is the alumni. I think the opportunities when you connect with an EIU alum, to me, is second to none. I'll tell you a personal story. I was on a cruise ship, and I was wearing an EIU shirt. You know, right? I'm in the Dominican Republic in a cruise ship. Someone walks up to me and says, "Wait a second, I went to EIU. Oh my God, I loved my experience. Did you go here? What residence hall did you stay in?" You know, so that connection is so strong, and we're everywhere. I was at a college fair one day, and someone walked up to me. He's like, "I deliver the Krispy Kremes every Thursday at Eastern. They're the best thing ever. If you go to Eastern, you know about Krispy Kreme Thursday." You know, or talking to alumni. You know, we're actually, I mentioned the football stat earlier. Little old EIU, little old Charleston. Can you believe this? We're the only school in the country to have an NFL starting quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo, get well soon, a GM of the Bears, Ryan Pace, thank you for Nick Foles, a starting linebacker of the Miami Dolphins, Kamu Grugier-Hill, just made a big sack last Thursday, and also a head coach, Sean Payton of the Saints. Think about that. And if you want to throw in an offensive coordinator, we got Tim Ryan. We got Mr. Ryan from the Houston Texans. So little old EIU, FCS school in the Ohio Valley Conference, has all that compared to an SEC school, ACC school. You know, they all love their experience and they all give back. So to me, like that alumni connection, that satisfaction rate, having the opportunity, like I said before, I moved back to the Chicagoland area. I did 6 years on campus, actually recruiting in Southern Illinois. Loved every opportunity of being in Charleston, a slower pace, you know, red, white, and blue days over the summer times in Charleston, opportunities to play summer softball, learning so much about myself as a young professional. It only made me a better person. So to me, the EIU point of pride definitely is just the satisfaction rate of our alumni and the connections that you can build.
I'm going to jump in and say the point of pride that I have is our retention rate. And the students that come to SIU Carbondale graduate from SIU Carbondale, and that is very, very, very important. We have a wonderful student success model built where, you know, there's tutoring services at any level of your academic career. We also graduate the most minority PhDs from any place else in the country. And I think that also stands to our support services. We have an Achieve program that is also very special in terms of if you are a differently abled learner, you can have a professor that is assigned to you that would be your mentor and to help you just go the extra mile, because those are the types of services that I feel really do speak to just the mission of the university in terms of making sure that students that come will succeed. And also our alumni network is huge. Everybody knows Salukis all over the country.
I think for Illinois Springfield, the point of pride that I want to talk about is our on-campus experience. What you learn in the classroom in college is probably less than 50% of your learning that takes place. Where does the most of your learning take place? 11 o'clock, all right, 2 or 3 a.m. in the residence hall, having discussions with people from all around the world, all different backgrounds, and all different places. And that's what's really special. When you come to Illinois Springfield, you are going to get an on-campus experience that is second to none. Yeah, we've got clubs and organizations and activities going on. We are open right now. We are having a lot of success right now with our students and student life events, students going to class with everything going on and all the horror stories you're hearing. That's not what's going on at Illinois Springfield. But our students are respecting of one another. They're accepting of one another. And that on-campus experience is so amazing that our students gain so much knowledge about the world, about different cultures. One of our biggest events of the year is actually our International Student Night, where students from all over the world that attend UIS, they'll cook food from their home communities. There's a dance thing. They talk about their countries of origin and they really showcase the cultures. And it amazes me how many students show up for that every year because they want to know more about the students that they're going to class with. That is a really special environment on our campus. We've got 2 minutes left. So what I want to do is maybe one quick 30-second tip that you've got for the students on here to making this college admissions or college process successful for them. So Omar, why don't
Definitely. My number one tip I can give you guys, I'll give you 2 real quick tips in 30 seconds. Number one, get involved. Get involved. no matter what you do, get involved. No matter what you do, get involved. If I have to say it again, get involved once you guys get to college. It can truly help. Expanding your portfolio truly helps you get to the next level. I got my job in college admissions by being involved, being an RA, being a tour guide, being in Greek life. So definitely get involved. And number two, step outside your comfort zone. It's okay. Step outside your comfort zone. Push yourself to do something different, and I guarantee you're going to learn so much about yourself.
Oh my gosh, just one tip. There's so many. I just want to say, just enjoy the process, because there's not going to be another time in your life where, the world is, well, yeah, maybe, but, your freshman year of college, your senior year of high school, people are going to be expecting great things from you because they're knowing that you're graduating. Just enjoy the process. Reach out to your admissions coordinators, reach out to alumni at universities that if you can, visit campuses if you can, just really take the whole process in. Apply early, do your FAFSA, which actually starts tomorrow.
And my final tip for you guys is don't stress out about this. There's 4,000 schools in the country. You're going to be admitted somewhere. It's like asking somebody out on a date. It's not that hard. You see this hairline? Omar, I lost mine like in high school. All right. It's not that hard. But during this process, apply for scholarships. Have fun, because applying for scholarships gives you a chance to get some yeses. And when you do that, not only is school more affordable for you, but you're going to find that right fit. And when you do, it might just be a happen chance, like what happened to Omar, just visiting Charleston out of a whim and found his dream school. But you're going to find the right place. It's going to lead to amazing opportunities, and just have fun with everything with college. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. And we're definitely looking forward to talking with you here in the future. Thank you.
Thanks to everyone, and thanks to our amazing and dynamic panel. What a great session. So real quick, as you exit, you will get a quick survey. We'd love to know how we did with the fair. And just a reminder to please sign up for more sessions at IACAC.org. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks, guys. Bravo.